Yo, back with another episode. You know what it is. It's your boy, J Black. My boy Charles, my boy Brandon. Hey man. Um, let's get it started. Gonna look at the Bitcoin chart like we usually do at the beginning of every episode. See what the chart's talking about. Okay. Let's go what we previously marked up, man. We was the last time we was talking about which way we was gonna break. And let's go to the weekly chart. Which way we was gonna break based off the inauguration. So the inauguration was on. Let's go to the daily. Let's go back to the daily. What was it? The 19th, right?
20.
The 20th. Okay, the 20th. So we broke up a little bit. We did go a little past the all-time high. So the all-time high is now like 109. 109. But it's still in this range because this candle came and wicked. So we still kind of in this range from 89 to 108. You can see a trend line break right here. So let's go back here to the weekly. We seeing wick. I'm seeing a wick. These wick rejections right here. Um, I guess we just still really waiting to see what we're gonna do. Break out this range, but we did, like I said, this trend line did break. So we seeing support around 94,000. There's a lot of other altcoins pulling back as well, not just Bitcoin. So we can see a pullback into this range, and we can see another bounce to go back up. So we're gonna see what happens this week. So that's what I'm looking at, man. I'm seeing these wick rejections right here. These wicks. So we'll see. We went snatched out of liquidity that was sitting at 108. Now we're trying to hit down within this range. Yeah, I think.
Chart of consolidation.
Yeah, nah, for real. The 4 hour. Oops.
Say it's definitely dropping back down. I definitely think it's gonna drop back down to this next black support you got down there.
Yeah. These are relative equal lows right here.
So you got that one at 100. No, that one's at that one's at 100. So it's definitely on its way down to 100 for sure. Um, unless it wicks back up. But both of those look like that last 4 hour candlestick that just closed was a full body. No full body, no wick. Followed up by like another full body candlestick. So it's definitely going down to at least 100.
Yeah, so that red line is 100. Yes, definitely supporting on 100.
Yeah, so it's definitely going down. I would say it looks like we're definitely going down to at least 100 for sure next week. Who knows how it's gonna react? But like at some point, it looks like we're gonna touch 100. Just from those, we'll zoom in on those two recent candlesticks because maybe there is some and I just can't see it. But yeah, nah. Like looking at those candlesticks, bro. Like I would definitely say, yeah, that first one don't got no wick on it. Um,
Yeah,
but
me just
that,
looking, I'm seeing like 100 or a little bit low 100 just because like 98. Let's just say 98.5 is about the midpoint of this total consolidation. So probably 98 98.5 to 100.
yeah, the hard
It
the
could bounce
hard thing
back up.
is though, bro. Like it's just you know what I'm saying. Just just with everything going on now, it's not really a good time to be trying to predict the price of Bitcoin or any crypto based off of just technical analysis.
Oh
Um,
nah, I
so
already know.
yeah, so like I mean, I don't. We say that Trump and the team can
Nah,
come out
that's
and tell
why
you he
that's
said
why I
something
speak
crazy.
in like possibilities, not like, you know what I'm saying. I could predict prices. It just is based off support and resistance and just different key levels. So yeah, but we're
Think
just gonna
we
see in the
gon'
coming week.
right. I think we gonna head back down and then do a midweek reversal come Wednesday. Earlier as Tuesday, but definitely we're gonna come down hard to about do it like a midweek and then reversal back up to the upside. Unless, Trump come out with something that says otherwise, but we know January is still considered winter time. So we'll start seeing some movement come probably late February. Cause I guess the one thing that we've been used to the zones being low. So now that we've hit that 100,000 range, it's like, all right, we need you to go higher. But, the market's going to do what it's going to do for the most part. But I just think that we're going to do a midweek reversal. And then by Wednesday, we're going to trend back up. I don't know if we're going to break anything because, yeah, at least not until March. That's what I'm banking on. Everything kind of really moving is in March because people kind of getting back in. I say getting back into the office like they went somewhere, but it's kind of slow because it's winter right now. But overall, we still up.
Yeah, yeah,
Sure, I'm with you on that, and I think that just in general, um, as cool as it would be for Trump to do some stuff, I definitely don't think like he's definitely done some crypto stuff, bro. But I definitely think, uh, or maybe not a lot of people, but I know me personally for sure. I definitely thought that at this point there was gonna be a little more action on some crypto stuff from him and the team. Not to say that things haven't got done, because of course things have got done. He made a specific crypto team himself, or not himself, but he made a separate crypto team. You know what I'm saying within the government to work on that. But
Right.
I definitely, like I said, in general, I definitely was expecting a little bit more um, in terms of what they were gonna do. And I think that's kind of like the general consensus too. You know what I'm saying? Like of the market, I think a lot of people in general were kind of a bit disappointed in what we saw come out of that first week. So you know what I'm saying? We'll just kind of see how things progress and stuff. But I definitely don't really think it's gonna be a quick thing. I think it's gonna be more so like over time, regular government stuff. Over time, they're gonna tackle some of the crypto stuff, and we'll see some changes. So we'll just have to see.
yep.
You know, get us into it.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, so just a couple of things that I was kind of looking at. Um, let me just try to pull up. Let me pull up an article real quick. Put my fucking mouse. So while I'm trying to pull up this article, um, just online, I've been seeing this small narrative pop up of people talking about that there may not be an alt season this go round, or that the alt season this go round may not be what it's previously been. Um, and what I've basically been seeing a lot of people, what I've basically been seeing a lot of people say about that is that because there's such a large number of coins compared to what there had previously been, that a lot of people don't think that the way we used to see all altcoins run will happen again. So typically speaking, right, it would be like uh, I could pull up I got the article. Well, not an article, but I got a Reddit thing. But I also want to pull up this crypto chart so you guys can see the flow. Pull up this image real quick. Okay. This is the one I was looking for. Alright, cool. All right, so basically, basically the way, and I'm sure a lot of y'all know this already, but basically you guys can see this, see the
Right.
4 page.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I know both of y'all know this, but in case you guys don't know this is just the flow of money as it's happened before in cycles within crypto. So phase one is where everybody puts their money into Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin surges. Phase two, that money goes into Ethereum, and we see Ethereum run. Next phase is going to be large caps. So that's going to be basically your top 10, top 25, top whatever, any other large cryptos. And then phase four will be the alt season. Um, so that's typically the phases as we've seen previously within crypto. And that's typically what a lot of people have been thinking is going to be the similar phases as to like what we would see for this cycle. However, a lot of people are saying that they don't think that that may be the case, only because the number of altcoins now is so much higher than it used to be. So let's see. Try to see what the difference in like altcoins is from like now to whenever it used to be. Hey, I'm already tired of trying to Google to find these articles, man. Ain't gonna hold you. But okay. So basically, I mean, at this point, this is definitely something where you guys could all do your own research into it. But I did read a few articles, and the main point and the focus of those articles was that the amount of altcoins that we have now compared to the amount of altcoins that we used to have before is like to the multiple of like 10. There's always been meme coins, and that's always been a thing. But now that cryptocurrency is like in the mainstream, like it's kind of never really been before, there's just a lot of more coins happening. So, in terms of how that affects the alt season, if there's only 100, if there's only 10,000 coins, then when that money flows from Bitcoin to Ethereum to large caps, there's only going to be a total of 10,000 different cryptocurrency projects that money could flow into. And because of where those coins are at in market cap, that money makes those small coins jump up, causing a big alt season. Whereas now, instead of there only being 10,000 tokens, there's like a million. So if you take that same amount of money that would have been in previous cycles and distribute that among a million tokens, the gains aren't going to be there like they used to be for those altcoins. So that's basically the narrative that is around that alt season. I'm 50-50 on that. I think that I think that there will be some strong projects that are currently considered altcoins that will still rise up. Um, for instance, like some of the ones that I personally have on my list, which is going to be like Telcoin, VeChain. Those are two altcoins right now that I still think could jump up. Um, but also there's a side of me that does think like, yeah, the market is for sure you know what I'm saying, stuffed to the brim right now with tokens, and there's not really like as big of a general consensus or consolidated community within a couple of tokens like there used to be, even if you just look back 7, 8 years ago. You know what I'm saying? It used to just be really strong communities around a lot, around like a few different really good projects, but now it's like smaller communities around a lot of different projects, or everybody's looking at this, looking at this, looking at that. So I really don't know, but I still think some of the old projects that have been around for a long time will still see a jump during alt season that have strong utility cases. So that's kind of like what I think about this alt season.
I feel you. I definitely agree. With everybody is basically with altcoins is saturated. I mean, you got places like Pump Fund that's springing these tokens up, and retail is getting ate up alive. Honestly, with just that. So I can see that sentiment where a lot of alts won't fly as high, but the ones who have stood the test of time may see some significant gains, which kind of makes me think about the overall run this cycle, which a lot of people say is going to be a meme coin run, but I'm still holding steadfast to the utility run because they're putting a lot of things in place now that crypto is getting the green light for. And then with the category of made in America tokens, I think those are more of a sure bet that you'll see a nice return on it. Um, I think just being cynical is the altcoin run, like you said, won't be as significant because I even got something across my timeline now on Twitter that's saying the same thing. I think more so that's what's going to actually cause us to have that black swan event, and they say everything's a black swan, and I mean it's just a blanket statement, but I do think that with everybody's putting money into just different tokens, is going to make the returns not as substantial versus the traditional route of people making money from these coins. So if you're going to invest in meme tokens, like I said, maybe set 5 to 10% to the side simply for those gambling tokens. But you definitely want to make sure that they have a pretty solid community. But I'm all for the utility tokens because they're putting things in place now. So where we may see stuff outside of just XRP, but stuff like Link being used because of the pricing oracles, things like Tailcoin being used, things like Sui's being used, Solana. They're taking a lot of that volume from Ethereum. And Ethereum is basically, they have their own scandal that has yet to come out yet, with their ETHgate and how they basically kind of skated under the rug. And a lot of people in the XRP community talks about this, and they have little riddles and this, that, and the third about who's Satoshi and XYZ. But the writing is definitely on the wall with certain things getting put in place, and it's no coincidence. So while I'm not saying that XRP is not going to hit 10,000, it definitely is. But outside of that, just with any other token, meme coins like SHIB or Doge we'll definitely see more uptrend, especially with Elon Musk trying to get rid of the penny, and
Yeah, seen that one.
they're slowly phasing us out of the physical dollar to get us over into the digital dollar and just digital currency altogether. I think these banks shutting down is still a thing that's going under the radar to the masses because if everybody try to go, take their money out the bank, they ain't got it. So we got 4 years. I look at this period of with him getting elected, he got 4 years to propel us into a more digital state. We're going to start seeing the AI sectors getting picked up, the semiconductors, everything dealing with AI. He even scaled back the electric vehicle narrative for right now, but I also think that's just to help bring the cost down because the demand won't be so high for it, so they can come in and create more of these self-driving taxis. And I think Tesla is going to be a huge monopoly in the game, similar to how Apple is a monopoly within itself. And I think with them partnering up with Trump, and it's at the end of the day, it's all about business. You know what I'm saying? When he's in office, he runs the United States like the business that is set up to be. And I think, like I said, we got 4 years where he's going to put things in place to propel us. And by 2030, it's all systems go from there. So I'm personally, I dabble in and out of these tokens, but I'm also seeing too that it's a lot of these tokens are being insider trading, and we've always had insider trading in the crypto space, but now it's more prominent than anything that I've seen since I've been in this space. And it's like you're chasing tokens to see what's going to be what, and by the time you get into it, they're basically pulling the plug out on you. So I think Solana is the culprit with that one, because it's easy. They made it accessible to the masses now, and people are just jumping in. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They're just buying it and saying, "Oh, well, such and such told me buy this," and they see one or two people say, "Oh, I took $30 and turned it to 1 million." But what they don't tell you on the flip side, yeah, they turned it to 1 million, but is it $1 million of liquidity that they can cash out with? Or
Right.
they just got a tokens that say, "Oh, it's $1 million on my Solana, but I can't cash none of that out, because if I do, I bring that whole token community down, and then I'm stuck holding the bags." So that's the dark side of things that people don't understand when they're hopping into these meme coins and they're on TikTok or Twitter and seeing that, oh, well, such and such took $30 and turned it into this. They can't cash that money out. So I agree with your sentiment on that. I don't think it's going to be a huge run, but I am seeing a lot of these utility tokens like Oxychain or XCN. Like right now, it's running up. It's like 3 cents now. It was 4 cents, but it was back then. It was like 0.004 cents a few months ago, and that was under the radar. Onyx Chain, that's what's the name. It's supposed to be used by J.P. Morgan Chase, and now that J.P. Morgan has changed its stance in the public eye of embracing crypto, I think we're going to start seeing a lot of those tokens that was undervalued go up into prices. So it's like, while everybody's chasing these meme coins going to the left, these other places who have these other tokens in place, like, hey, this is the real move over here on the right hand side. And while everybody's chasing over here, the real money is being made over there. And I think long as you understand that going in, if it's your first time investing, then you should be okay. Because I'm not expecting anybody who's just now getting started in crypto this year to come out a millionaire. Is it possible? Absolutely, but it's like winning the lottery, honestly. So it's not impossible, but the probability of that happening as your first go around is very slim, due to how much altcoins are saturating the market. And I think that's what's going to help bring us down to where, going forward, we only going to be investing into the cryptos who's going to actually make a difference in this space, because they're it's like every day it's like they're moving further away from decentralization, which defeats the whole purpose of crypto in the first place. you know and even though it's not really decentralized, it's really centralized, because everything is shared on a public ledger that can be seen and traced. What I'm saying? It's just that illusion of it being decentralized, but they does have their aspects where it is. So basically, just wrap up, what you were saying. Basically, I agree with you 100%. I can see that, the writing's on the wall. I don't have too much hope for the altcoins this go around, to the point where I'm actually looking at rebalancing my portfolio from a standpoint and making sure that I'm not just holding a bunch of bullshit, thinking like, okay, this is going to fly here, and just realize like, hey, I'm at 100%, gain. Let me just cut my losses here and pivot into something more safe. That way I know, at least on the back end, I'm good. I'm not looking, if I got to put my yacht back another year or two, hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm still going to get that yacht. It's just I might not be able to get it this bull run. And I'm slowly coming to that time, because like I said in the group chat here, investing is basically a lifetime marathon. It's not a sprint. But yeah.
Yeah, man. I agree with what both of y'all said. I just want to kind of piggyback on some stuff y'all said. Just like right at the tail end, what you said, man. Like this investing is long term. It's a marathon. Like one of the best investors, Warren Buffett, he said this with stocks. You're not gonna hold it for at least 10 years. Don't even buy the asset. And me personally, with when it comes to my portfolio, I'm following the institutions. Like Charles said, we could say all day that crypto is decentralized, but the more the institutions get into it, these countries, these big players, is going to be centralized, and the market cap is going to be taken up. And you're going to be priced out a lot of these uh tokens and coins because you're chasing meme coins and not chasing utility. Like Charles said, get you 100% return if you want to get into meme coins, and then take that and funnel it into your XRPs, your chain links, your XLMs, Solanas, you know, things like that. But another thing I wanted to touch on, going back to what I was saying, long term. Long term is not it's not sexy. It's not like, trading, you know what I'm saying? And that's a whole different story. But like you don't want to get into the mindset of chasing these meme coins because is people becoming extra liquidity weekly. You know what I'm saying? Daily, hourly, you know what I'm saying? As fast
Right.
as these tokens is popping up. So just remember DCA, dollar cost average. Slowly but surely you want to put your money into these utility tokens, these utility coins, and slowly build up your bag. So it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. Uh Write down your plan. Uh, like Charles was saying in the group, I said top three. If you're just starting off, he was like, you could do seven because crypto market is large. Like Brandon was saying, so many different cryptos. You just gotta find the projects with great utility and build your bags. That's it, man.
Sure, yeah, no, and yeah, definitely, man. Like, right, like we definitely talked about having the right mentality multiple times on a lot of different episodes. Um, and I think it's just like both of y'all said, right? Like that's the main thing. And basically, where we're at in the market, where I think is like we're gonna see it really make that transition from being like this, um, that's where we're at now. Like with Trump and his team coming into office and actually making legislation rules like crypto is going to not be a volatile market. Like that is about to be over and done with. Because like once there is real legislation, clear cut rules around what it means to be this, what it means to be that, that's where like all of these companies that were just making coins to like scam people are going to fizzle out. Because like, and I'm sure Charles has seen this too. When I first kind of got back onto the market, paying attention really heavily, and I was looking at my KuCoin account, man, I would say like one out of every five coins I had on my watch list from like 3 or 4 years ago, they changed the product that was under their token. Like the same token name, but the product completely different. And that can only happen in an unregulated market. So like that will never happen again in the crypto market where you have a token and like 5 6 years later down the road they're just a completely different business. Like that won't happen again. Like those days of the crypto market are over. So basically, what does that actually mean? That means that crypto in general is going to move a lot slower. It's going to move closer to what you see in the stock market, right? Like it's not going to be the Wild West anymore. You'll still have your few crypto tokens that do jump up and stuff, but in general, the market's going to be and move a lot closer, I think, to the pacing that we see within the stock market because there's going to be clear cut legislation, clear cut rules. There's going to be a lot less of the bad business that was going on in crypto, causing people to run up and make money. Because you got to think for every one story that you hear about one person depositing $30 and pulling out 1 million, you got to realize that behind that person doing that, it's 1,000 people that got burnt, right? So it's not like that person just dropped $30 in and made a bunch of money. It's that person dropped $30 in, made a bunch of money, but then there's thousands of people that lost money, right? Like so, those stories seem cool, they seem whatever, but you have to actually understand the economics behind what causes somebody to make that much money in that short amount of time, and it's because because that many people are losing that much money in that short amount of time as well. So it's not like money's just appearing out of thin air. Like that money is coming from other people's pockets into those few people's pockets that managed to get lucky, or that were just in cahoots with each other. So yeah, like that's kind of like how I feel about that, and I think seem like we all kind of on the same boat. Biggest thing is just make sure you guys are disciplined, and you know what I'm saying, you investing in the right tokens and you have a plan. Um, so so past that, my favorite topic to throw a little shade out on from time
Uh-oh.
to time. Y'all already know what it is. So XRP, man. So XRP. So I read an article. I was on Threads, and I saw somebody post on Threads that to use the banks financial systems don't have to transact in XRP on the network. It's not a requirement. So I thought about that, and when I just actually literally started thinking about it, I'm like, okay, well, right, like, I mean, I guess that kind of, to me, I was like, okay, well, maybe that kind of makes sense, but maybe it doesn't, because like when I think about being on the Ethereum network, you have to use Ethereum. It's not really I mean, I'm pretty sure you have to use Ethereum. So I don't really know because I haven't done any transactions on that network. But that was what that article said, and then I Googled it, and I mean, like every source that I found on Google, like all the top sources on Google, when I put that in there, all said like that was true. That you do not have to use XRP that banks are not required to use XRP on the network. Like that's not a requirement. Um,
I don't
so
think it may not be a requirement, but I think it's something that they trying to definitely move forward with, seeing as though they got like hundreds of partnerships with different banks.
well,
Uh,
the partnerships aren't the partnerships requiring them to use XRP on the network. It's
I
just the
mean, I don't think it's
partnerships.
requiring them to. I'm reading an article here. It said Bank of America's XRP adoption game changer for Ripple and crypto. Bank of America is now using XRP for 100% of its internal transactions. So they might not be required, but I think they see it
So
as
here,
a
so here's the
good
thing.
technology to use
Are
within
they are they
those
using?
banks.
So here's here's where I think a lot of like where it's just hard to tell, hard to know. Are they using like the network, like we talked about, like XRP is a network? Are they just doing their transactions on the network, or are they using the token XRP to do the transactions? Because those can be two completely separate things.
Right. So what they're doing is, in the moment, they're using the technology and the network to basically create federation side chains that's not necessarily public. So you know how we got the back door on how money's being moved today, and we don't see when Bank of America goes and makes a deposit. You know what I'm saying? We just know our money is in our account for the most part. That's the same framework that they're using. So they're using the technology to build side federation chains. And you can find this if you go on Twitter and look up Joey Katz. He basically kind of talks about how they're doing that, and you're right. They don't have to use XRP; it's not required, but they are using the technology to create their own in-house chain per se. Now, where the token comes into play is more on the side of once they start phasing out the physical cash, and we're going to be using it when you hear them talk about cross-border payments. So it's when say you go out to Honduras, right, and you're trying to convert your dollars to whatever they use over there, right, and technically you will have to pay a fee to convert that money over. So in the sense of that, they'll use the XRP token to facilitate that transaction, making those fees not as much, and be basically pennies on a dollar to convert your money over. And I think that's when we'll start seeing the XRP token come up in price, when we start seeing more of these countries get onboarded, and we're actually doing transactions from different borders, because they tell you all the time, cross border payments all the time. Thus, why Ripple has partnered with UAE doing that. That's solidified their partnerships in the UK with transferring this money over and over in Singapore, and they're basically trying to get the what they call the emerging markets, which is code for the places that they don't have physical banks. They're using that as a test pilot to onboard people who's basically onboarding the unbanked. And once those people get on board, then that's when we'll start seeing XRP token in itself start to take off, because it's being used to convert, basically to bridge the currencies together.
So here's another part of the article I'm reading. It said Ripple's technology validated. Bank of America's decision highlights Ripple's ability to address inefficiencies in global banking, such as high transaction costs and slow border payments. So exactly what he was talking about, how these other countries have to get up to speed to the technology that Ripple has with XRP. I want to say this too. XRP is not the only token that's going to be used for cross-border payments. Like, once people see the technology, Ripple booming and XRP booming, it's going to be a lot of different players. It's still other players within the market that move money through cross-border payments, or that can move money through cross-border payments. So it's going to definitely be some competition within the market of cross-border payment when it comes to crypto and XRP. So I mean, it's just what everybody's trying to adopt, and who's going to be the top player in that space, we have yet to find out. But XRP is definitely is on its way. Like,
So I guess my thinking. So okay, so my thing is this, right? Most people, most people that invest in XRP don't know that. What we just talked about, most people don't know that that's a difference. Most people think everybody's just gonna, all the money about through the banks are gonna be that it's gonna all be used by the XRP token. That is the narrative for XRP right now. That's the actual real life narrative behind why people, whenever somebody's like, oh, XRP is going to like a crazy number, that's the narrative, and that's a lie. So that's so like, and that's kind of it's just a flat out, it's just like, period, point blank, it's just flat out misinformation. And that was like off top why this is kind of going back to, like, even though I didn't know much about XRP, I did know that the information that was getting pushed, it just was like a lie. Like, it just was
must
like,
have been watching TikTok, man.
no, no. I mean, well, hey,
So
that's
I wouldn't say it's a lie, because once you start going down the rabbit hole and learning about the quantum financial system, the other provisions that they have in place on where they can change the denomination of what's going to be worth what, rebalancing what currency is going to be attached to what, and all of the other stuff. When these people are saying basically XRP is going to hit these numbers, they're talking about the end goal. That's all they're worried about. And also, too, the CEO is sitting here saying all of the money and basically kind of give you hints. And I know you said in a couple episodes before, of course the CEO is going to try to talk up about the coin because he works for them. They cut his checks, XYZ. But also the developer behind the whole token and the protocol itself basically is giving hints about how we're positioning the token itself to be used as a main person, not person, as a main token to facilitate these transactions. So when people are saying XRP is going to 10,000, it's not necessarily a lie. It just hasn't happened yet. One, because there are other factors. It's like they're on step 100 and we're only on step 3. So a lot of these people become maxis because, and I'm not going to, disagree with you in regards of they may not understand that, but most of the old heads who's been in this space for a long time understand what's going on and what's being at play. And it does take a lot of research and digging, because we can tell you this all day, but until you read and you see the articles and you see the evidence, then that's when you'll start to see it yourself. So my whole thing is, if the consensus is saying all this, it's no coincidence. And also, too, XRP was around the same time that Bitcoin came out. It was just under a different name. So those two are always going to be grandfathered in. One is just going to be on the back end under the radar, i.e. why they call it a banker's token, because it's going to be moving money. And then we're not just saying it's just a banker's coin. When you start thinking about the transaction with Forex, how much money is being moved on those platforms, when you think about derivatives and all that other stuff plays into factors, everybody's going to want to be able to convert their money over fast and with least amount of fees being paid. So that's where, like I said, on step 10, I mean, step 100, we see that 10,000 XRP because it can't be worth a few dollars if removing this much money. It defeats the purpose. And basically, Bitcoin is not going anywhere. It's still going to be around because the consensus use basically identifies it as a store of value to beat inflation. But as far as moving money, we're not sitting here saying, "Hey man, I'm finna see you $50 in Bitcoin," because by the time it get to you, hell, it might be $49.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So it's that's why they got into that stablecoin phase as well to counter that, because you can't solely just rely on just the XRP token itself to use those payments. So basically, as long as they're tying and they're backing their Ripple dollar to XRP or whatever else they're deciding to back it by, because we all know that they can write some law into legislation and it should be backed up by, hell, be backed up by feathers for all we know. And tomorrow, feathers be worth $1 billion. So they can make their own rules, but the whole protocol itself was created to move money on the back end underneath, basically like the man behind the curtain on the Wizard of Oz. So
So like my so basically my thing is now is like when I really sit here and think about it, when I actually think what do most people think about XRP that buy the crypto is those are the people who in reality should be waiting until the stock for Ripple comes out and they should be buying the stock, right? Not the cryptocurrency XRP, but they should probably be, they're probably actually more aligned with the product that the stock would offer once they get out of their SEC things and they could go public. Because that's going to be where the what we're talking about right now in terms of the long-term product, right? Like that's the stock though. That's not the actual crypto of XRP. That's the stock of the company. So it's just in this weird state where I personally kind of feel like the CEO is, call it intentional, call it whatever you want. I personally think he's fudging the lines a little bit between the actual company and the cryptocurrency. See, the difference is a lot of cryptos aren't trying to be a public company like Ripple is. So they're very different. Like they're trying to be a public company as well with a crypto. So like the CEO kind of just walks in this little gray area, and so that's the only thing, man, for me personally, is he walks in a gray area. I think a lot of people that buy XRP, if Ripple had their stock out now and they were actually looking at the decision of, hey, should I be buying XRP or should I be buying stock in the company? They would
both
look
of
at
them.
they would both of them, but right now, what do they think they're buying XRP, but it's in reality they think they're buying the stock of the company. That's the product they think they're buying. Everybody thinks when they're purchasing XRP that they're buying the network. They're buying, no, 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 no. You're just buying the token, right? Like you're buying the token. The network is the stock. Is that correct, or is that not like how it should be broken down?
No, their stock and the product with their stocks is going to be something completely different from the XRP token itself. So where you would say that people who are buying XRP thinking they're buying the stock of it, no, not, I mean, not the circles that I'm in. And these are new investors as well as old investors. Even when I still did my
You
research, like it's not.
Well, you in some high tier. Well, let's slow down. So we got to define what your circle. We got to talk about what your network is because you've been in crypto the longest out of all of us here, out of even me and Jay. And I've been in crypto and known about crypto for a long time. So like the networks and the people that you're connected with, bro, is like very far removed from the average investor and what they know. like you know far more about crypto than I think either. Than I know you more. I know you know more about crypto than me. So, like, I don't gonna lie to you. You got me into liquidity pools. You already made your own token, right? Like, so I know for sure you know more about crypto than I do. So like you could, not to cut you off, but like your
Yeah.
circle is like a very well informed circle, right? Like it's not a circle of even what I would consider quote unquote beginners, because even when I look at personally, when I look at people like on the web, on the blah blah blah, the typical XRP conversation is like pretty wild, bro. Like it's not a it's and I mean, not that any crypto conversations typically are well educated, because they're usually not, right, because just of where crypto's at in its infancy. But like it just doesn't seem like people have a strong grasp on, you know what I'm saying, the differences between the network, the token, and what it means to like own XRP.
And watching too much TikTok, man.
Right. And it goes to that misinformation about it. But those who actually take that information, it's like, okay, let me do my research. They end up being converted over to understand what is it that they're actually buying, and not thinking, okay, well, I'm buying crypto, so I'm buying stocks. Because even when I have new clients who've never been in this space come to me or whatever, I let them know, hey, this is not the stocks. It's not stock market at all.
Well,
You know,
that's not what I mean. So let me roll this back. So okay, so I just Googled. So here's what I mean. Here's a better what I mean. So people that are buying XRP are buying it because they think that this is going to be the network that all banks are going to be transacting on, right? Like, now when you go and say what is, so I just Googled what is the product that Ripple stock will offer. The stock. Ripple stock represents a company that primarily offers a blockchain-based digital payment network utilizing its native cryptocurrency XRP. So the stock is the network, and the cryptocurrency XRP is the native token that is on their network. They're two separate things. So what I'm saying is, a lot of people that are buying XRP, the crypto now, think that when they're investing in XRP, they are investing in the network. But that is not the case. They are investing in the cryptocurrency native token that is used on the network itself, not the actual network, right? So it's the same difference as in like somebody who goes out and buys a Nike shoe versus somebody who goes out and buys the Nike stock. Like, people are right now, quote unquote, buying Nike shoes thinking they're investing in the stock with XRP. Because when you're buying an XRP token, you are not buying the blockchain technology that they've created for the networks that the banks are using. You are buying the cryptocurrency token and hoping that the banks are going to use the token. If the banks don't use the token, then even if they're using the network, XRP will not XRP will not go to the astronomical numbers that it's projected to go to.
But
That's
you gotta ask yourself how many banks currently are using XRP.
are you
and
well,
how,
no, well, slow down. So this is what I'm saying. Are using the network or are using XRP.
But
Those
see,
are two.
XRP, when you talk about the network, we talk about XRPL. So
right.
if people are if the Ripple IPOs and people are buying the stock, then they're buying part of the XRPL. But see, XRP is on the XRPL. This is the technology with inside the network XRP, which is gonna move
Right.
RLUSD.
Which
You see what
might,
I'm saying?
it's not going to, it could
No,
potentially.
it no, they
No.
use it to move it.
But they don't,
It's the gas fees.
but they don't, okay,
Basically, they're using it for it's like the gas fees of it.
they're using it for the gas fees, right? But they don't have to use XRP though on the
They
network.
tell you don't have to use it, but how else are you going to move it? Just like I told you, you ain't gotta click on this liquidity pool, but you know what I'm saying? You
Because
came to
people
the
are gonna
realization,
transact on it. Yeah.
right?
Hey, listen, man. When it's so all this, all I know is this. So so basically it's in a weird state, bro. That's all I know. All I know
Right.
is
Right, and that's done on purpose because the next stage is this go around with this election. They're going to be pushing a lot of stable coin regulation to get an even playing field, right? And then that's going to, with Gary Gensler being out, they're going to redo the Howey test and updated from the 1970 version of what's considered a security and what's not considered a security, which is going to give XRP that clarity, which is going to set the standard. That's why they say XRP the standard. That's the only reason why this token has been in cahoots with the SEC in the market, where because ETH got a slap on the wrist because those same people who sued got their hands in the pot with Ethereum. They didn't have to go through none of that. So it's all deliberately done on purpose to set these chain things in action. And so right now it looks fishy and sketchy, but there's a lot of NDAs being put in place. So a lot of these places are not going to tell you that XYZ bank is using this token here because there's an NDA in place. Just like Jamie Dimon told people Bitcoin was a scam, but on the back end, he's been investing his whole company with Bitcoin to the point where they're offering Bitcoin custodial services now. They just not now getting into Bitcoin. They've been had Bitcoin. Hell, they actually funded the some of Bitcoin. When you think about all the liquidity and 1 trillion market cap, most of these countries and businesses have contributed to that liquidity. When the Fed cut rates and they turn the money printer on, that's when crypto booms. Where's that money coming from? From us. We're the only place that's printing money who don't care. We're printing money on purpose. And once we do that cycle over again, we're going to start seeing the influx of those prices because they're going to be pumping liquidity into these tokens. That's why people say, well, XYZ is going to hit at least the top 10 is going to be close to at least 1 trillion market cap, where you'll have Bitcoin say maybe on 50 trillion. And that may not happen this bull cycle, but by 2030, you're going to at least have in those top 10s, if they stay solid and they don't switch their products up, majority of them are going to be in a $1 trillion market cap because the price of $1 is coming down. We can't buy much with $1 now. So the valuation of that is going down. So $1 trillion may not be $1 trillion like it is today. It might be a drop in a bucket, just like $20 back in the day used to go a long way, and now $20 you can't even buy a pack of toilet paper with. Like, so it's dealing with inflation. It's dealing with what they're doing as far as moving money out. You got to factor in the jobs, the economy, all that plays a big factor into these pricing. So when things get too bad, guess what they do? They revise the rules so they can sit here and base and tie. They can tie XRP to the price of gold or to the price of silver or whatever. They create the rules. We just are in the game playing with it. So things can change on the whim. So that's why I tell you, at the end of the day, no matter what investors get involved and they say XRP is hitting 10,000, they're looking at all this stuff as if it already took place. So if they're looking at it from a standpoint right now, absolutely. Ain't no banks coming out saying that they're using this. But Bank of America just came out and publicly said they using XRP token. And I knew this back in 2016, which made me want to buy XRP in itself. But if I went and tell people, hey, Bank of America doing it, and they do the same thing you do, I go to Google, they said they ain't using it. And then they come out and tell you what they've been using it the whole time. It's NDAs in place. They're not going to tell the public everything they're doing because they want to get their money worth.
Well, so because I've kept looking into it, bro, and nothing I said is wrong. Just so you know, like in terms of like what I've said, like everything I've said is very true. Like, they don't have to use XRP. That's a fact. So, now once again, just like any network, we get this. Like, it will get used whether you use it or not. Like, I understand gas fees, burn fees, blah blah blah, all those things, right? It will get used. But like people don't. That's not the understanding, I think, of most people when you actually talk to them about why they're buying XRP. When you talk to a lot of these people about why they're buying XRP, they're like, "Oh, because it's going to be like the financial token that every bank is using." No, it's not. It's going to be the network that every bank is using, and more than likely, it's going to be the network that every bank has their own stable coin on. It's not going to be it's not XRP. Now, will XRP get used tertiarily or peripherally in the background? Yes, it will be.
That's what's going to drive the price up.
But that The only bro, like, so I hear you, and it will drive the price up, but to get to some of those astronomical numbers that
Mm-hmm.
we're talking about, it
Mm-hmm.
can't just be that. It needs to be more than just being burned in the background. Like, period.
Man,
Right.
Period.
it needs to be them crashing the dollar, man. That's exactly what's been happening for the last 20 years. Hey, let me just pull something. I didn't mean to cut you off. I got a some little information from my ebook called The Dying Dollar. So I'm gonna just pull up chapter two. Kind of touch on what y'all discussing, man. So it says as time marches forward, the once mighty purchasing power of the U.S. dollar has withered as a silent storm. Inflation over the span of 2 decades, from 2004 to 2024, the dollar resilience has waned, leaving behind a stark contrast in what could command in the marketplace. You just go down to the bottom. I'm not gonna read all this other stuff. It said prices of everything has increased over the last 20 years. So housing, gas, uh, groceries, education, healthcare, all these things have increased 60, 40, 25, 80, 30%. Uh, there's going to come a time where people are going to realize, hey, I need to stop saving in dollars and start putting my money into some of these utility tokens, which I know is going to have, real use cases around the world. And as we move further and further into that, tokens like XRP are going to be used. It's not gonna be like just like he just said earlier. Elon Musk is trying to get rid of the penny. What happens when they get rid of the nickel, the dime, then the quarter, then the dollar, and then it's just like, okay, well, all this money that we're printing, like he said, is gonna start flooding into the market. Trillions of dollars. That's why I just said at the beginning of what I was saying, man. I'm just following the institutions, man, because you really just don't bet against the house.
Right. They'll tell you one thing while they do another every time. So I'm not saying your research is wrong. What I'm saying is they're not going to tell you the truth. You have to do more digging than just Google. And that's why I sent you those links to those YouTubes where those people they got the receipts. They tell you, hey, go follow this link. Look into this outside of this. They're telling you this, but look at this over here. But you was like, nah, and I get it. That's just your natural combative nature, bro. And it's okay.
So
It's okay.
it's not necessarily the natural combative nature, bro. Because even though I do have that 100%, it's more so just that the typical conversation with an XRP person is like not really based in it's not really based in fact. It's based in and I mean that's the typical conversation with any cryptocurrency right now. It's based around like speculation. Like I mean just in general. That's really just why I've been so slow. That's why like I don't like I'm not really like I'm about crypto. I'm more about like just finding other things to invest my money into. But like I'm not really like a big I wouldn't even I'm not like super cryptocurrency, bro. Like I'm really not. Like that's why I invested the way I invested. Like right? Like that's why I went the route of like going into Bitcoin because like Bitcoin you could call Bitcoin a cryptocurrency all you want, but Bitcoin is not really a crypto, bro. Like Bitcoin has ascended past just being a quote unquote cryptocurrency. Like Bitcoin, like you mentioned, it's a store of value, bro. Like it's not people don't even look at Bitcoin like a crypto anymore.
the beta
People
testing coin.
people you can put whatever tag you want to put on it, brother. But the way people actually look at Bitcoin in the financial industry, it's not lumped in with other cryptos anymore. Bitcoin is legitimately looked at like a store of value. Bitcoin is legitimately looked at like a separate asset class by itself. It's in its own thing, store of value. That's that's really realistically the only reason why I was like, you know what, man, like that's why I said like let me get Bitcoin. Let me get it because like that's why. Every other crypto that I have, bro, like I have no clue what's gonna happen with them, bro. Because like the utility is cool. It's just I don't know, man. It's everything's just based in speculation, and I don't really like things based in speculation. But even Bitcoin's based in speculation.
Right. So it's
I
a
mean,
preference. It's your preference. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine. But at the same time, it's like you're saying, well, they're only buying this because of XYZ. it, like you said, it's all speculation. But with the most research, even when you invest in a stock, you're not just investing in a stock because it sounds good. You're saying, okay, what's the product? What are they doing? What needs are they satisfying? It's the same approach with crypto. Nothing is new under the sun. It's just a new face to it. So it follows the same thing. And even with these utility tokens, all right, what need, like VeChain, the supply chain that they're using, the QR codes, you can scan and check and see where your stuff is going. Does that matter to everyday users like me and you? Absolutely not. But to a multi-billion-dollar company, yes, I need to know where my product is and where it's coming from. So everything has a need for it. It's just whether that the companies or the cryptos that are being used is actually going to stay the course with their said product and introduce it to the masses, which is slowly coming out.
For sure. So I think so at this. So I think ultimately, right. Like when I look at things, so right now, XRP is the number three token in a marketplace that as we just talked about, that is not the wild west anymore. It's not the people say, oh well, like look at what Bitcoin XRP could do, what Bitcoin did back in blah blah. Well, no, when Bitcoin did that, there were no rules. Nobody knew anything about Bitcoin. Nobody knew anything about. People still don't know about crypto, but nobody knew anything about crypto. So like it was easy for Bitcoin to do that. It was very easy. So me personally, to think that to think that a token can do that in a regulated market, to go to that big of a price jump in a regulated market, to me is, can it happen? Yes. I'm not saying it can't happen, but the likelihood of it is not that high. It's a regulated market now. We are not in an unregulated market. We are not just in a wild west. We're
I
not
think
in a.
I think you kind of gotta look at crypto from a global perspective too. It's so much liquidity coming from all around the world. I mean, if we just talk about the New York stock market, that's just America. That's just kind of like
That's not true. Everybody invests in this U.S. stock market, bro. It's not
all
just
around the
America.
world.
Yes, it is the biggest stock exchange globally. Every other company invests in the U.S. stock market, bro.
I just
It's
feel
the
like all of
biggest.
that. I
It
figure
is
a
the
lot of that
biggest.
liquidity is just gonna be pulled out of there, man.
No, listen. That's okay. So here's the
Because of
thing.
the returns.
So there's no. So you. So what you're telling me is that. So let's just run that back. So you think that the liquidity of the stock market is going to get pulled out for what? For the crypto market?
I mean,
Yes,
it's
I
just.
say that because
In what sort of time frame?
it, there's no time frame with that. It can happen between now and 2030 as they get more rules and saying, okay, this is going to be what. But at the end of the day, everything is funded by greed. So if you're in stocks and you're only getting 10% return, and your buddy over here is getting a 3,000x, eventually you're going to want to get return on your money. That's
Bro.
why they're allowing the banks to custody Bitcoin itself so they can get exposure to it.
So I agree with the Bitcoin bank custody portion, but the 3000x, bro, like I don't. Maybe you don't think so, but that is going. We have already lived out those days, brother. Those days are gone. Those are not here anymore, bro. It's
Thanks.
like it is.
Trump coin
It,
just came out in a
it's
regulated market out of
okay.
nowhere.
Trump. Yeah, Trump. Okay. So once it, bro, so you may not think so, bro, but I think we're on the tail end of like a gold rush. If you were to look at cryptocurrency like you would look at the gold rush, right? Like we are not at like the peak of everybody getting their shovels and going. Like we're at the part
I
where
mean,
like
I don't know, man. Depending on
we're,
how you look at it, it's
we're
only 6% of people in the world that's invested into crypto. six
okay.
percent. Six
Of the
percent is a very
world.
small number.
So here, okay, for sure, right? So even
Shit, we can have another 10, 20 years of upside before you, as far as like stable markets, if you want to say is concerned, because this is not no 100-year-old market. Like,
so here's the thing. I'm not saying that a lot of people aren't doing it, but the explosive growth, right? Like we are there. So I think overall the explosive growth is just not going to be there, bro. Now, is crypto going to continue to go up year after year after year after year after year? Yes,
I mean, I guess
it is.
it depends on what you look at as far as determining explosive growth. What percentage and what time frame, what coin, what utility, what is it layer one? Is it gaming? Is it AI?
Well, it doesn't matter what the category is. I just don't think people. There are not going to be stories about people just getting rich overnight like there used to be. Like the last cycle, the last two cycles, you go back, bro, there's legitimately people, like regular schmegular people, bro, just average people who just threw some money into something, check their accounts, and
So
boom, like,
how long you think it's gonna take before a lot of it? I can foresee that a lot of meme coins and all these different websites like Pump Fund and all this stuff could go away, but at the same time, what time frame do you feel like that's gonna go away? When is legislation gonna be passed and say, okay, well, officially no more meme coins? It's like he just said when Trump
well,
just
it's
came out
it's
with his
it's
own
not.
meme coins. It's
So
kind
the
of like,
rhetoric's not. So number one, it's not a meme. So you got to stop looking at Trump's coin like that, bro. Yes, it's a meme coin, but it's a different type of meme coin. It's not a pump and dump meme coin. It's a collectible. That's what it's a collectible, bro. You can't look
And
at that. You can't look at that like it's a meme coin and put it in the same category as the other meme coins because that's not what it is, bro. It is that token is going to go down as basically once we all have digital spaces, people are going to be like, "Oh, look, I got the original Trump token and here's the boom boom boom. Here's the transaction in my wallet." That's what that token's gonna be, bro. It's not an NFT, but that's how owning that token is going to work. And that's what it means to basically own that Trump token. It's not really the same thing as what we've seen in meme coins. Because really, if we're being real here, bro, they have a legit, regardless of even though they own 80%, they got a legit schedule to release the
yeah,
supply of that
they can
token, bro.
definitely release the
Like
supply and
it's
add utility to it,
well, no,
unlike
well,
a
not
lot of
even.
these other
Well, they're
meme
not gonna. I
coins.
don't think they're gonna add utility to it because that's once again, that's not what it is, bro. It's a collectible. That's what I'm telling you, bro. Like it's not. But anyways, that's off the subject. That was just that. But in general, bro, in terms of a time frame of when I think that's gonna happen, bro, I would say like I would say realistically, it's gonna be it's gonna be before the end of the before like 12 years. That's gonna be done. Because you got to realize like Trump is getting the ball rolling on that right now. Like that's what I'm saying. Like with his team, you have to realize like that by them putting laws and things like that in place, that will not happen anymore. You will have to be legit. Like yes, it's quote unquote opening up to all cryptos, but you have to realize after he opens it up, what do you think comes next?
Well,
What
I'm
do you
gonna just
think?
say,
Literally, the next president. Like I'm breaking it down for you, bro. So the first 4 years, Trump is going to open it up and allow all of these already good crypto companies that were basically getting unfairly persecuted by the government to get their grasps in like the crypto economy, rightfully so, as they deserve. The big companies, the real ones, right? That's the first phase. This is how that works. So he's going to open it up to the real companies. So what do you think is going to happen next, bro? What do you think the government is going to do next? The next president. Oh, well, you know what? Let's add some rules restricting restricting some of the meme tokens or who can or the rules to open a crypto or the this or the that. They're going to make it harder. And even if they don't make it harder, because these real companies have gotten in the doors, so they're going to add rules, they're going to add permits, they're going to add things like that because now it's a legit business sector. It's a regulated business sector. So that's what happens in a regulated business sector, bro. Like it doesn't just change from when weed got legalized. Dope boys just didn't say, "Oh, I'm just gonna open up a store and sell it on the corner." No, because the government didn't let them do that. So crypto's not gonna be any different, bro. It's gonna be the same thing, and we are in the beginning portions of that right now. It's gonna be no different, bro. It's gonna be the exact same thing.
Well, you said we got a 12-year window. I'm
It's
happy
gonna
to
be.
hear that.
I
Coming
think it's gonna
from
be
the
at least 3 terms,
coming from
right?
the expert, I'm happy to hear that.
I know
So
expert. Hey, look, I'm
I
not an
think
expert, bro. I already
I
said
think
Trump
by
must know more about crypto than me, bro.
I
I done
think
already said that. I said it though. I said it, bro.
I think by 2030, if let's just say right now 2025, you can make some good money in this bull run. I think, in my opinion, I think by 2030, you should make a lot of money. You know, if you can endure the bear market that's going to be coming around in 2026. Um, like you said, if a new president does come in after Trump and start introducing all these restrictions and rules, that could possibly happen. Uh, so,
That's if
uh,
if a president don't become AI.
right. Hey, man, 2030 gonna be a wild time, man.
Oh
It's gonna people
man,
gonna make a lot of money. You're gonna see a bunch of drones, possibly some flying cars here and there. You know what I'm saying? So, if people looking at flying cars, man, they looking at that as the future. Uber, go look at that. Go look at that stock because regardless of how some of these drivers are being treated, they still making profit hand over fist. So man, hey man, all I can say is from that perspective, endure the bear market coming in 2026, 2030, you should see some good profits, and then we all get shit down after that in the next 6 years. So I mean, no,
right,
you said 8 years.
I'm saying we getting shut down, bro. I'm just saying it's gonna be a regulated market.
Nah,
That's
yeah,
what
for
I'm
sure, for
saying.
sure, it's gonna definitely be more regulated. I don't think they. It's just the fact that I think a lot of this suppression that's been going on in the past 4 years is gonna make the bull market pop in 2030 definitely. It's just kind of up in the air. We seeing this consolidation coming into Trump's regime or whatever like that. So we're just gonna see what happens in these next 4 years. But we definitely gonna pop in 2030. So
right, for sure.
I ain't gonna even lie to you. You know, I'm not gonna even lie to you, bro. I don't think. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I think this. Like it's still gonna be a bull. It's still gonna be a cycle that it's gonna still gonna be a cycle up. You know what I'm saying? Like even the stock market has its cycles up. Like just period, right? Like I mean, every market has its cycles up, but I just don't think it's gonna be the crypto market as a whole. Is just not going. Just like we talked about with altcoins, right? Like this, the crypto market as a whole, it's just gonna be this thing where it's not gonna just go from 6% global adoption to like 12 to like 50% in like 3 or 4 years. No, like that number is going to, I don't think so. I think that number is going to continually go up slowly
where
over
do you
time.
see us in 2030 as far as percentage from 6% to what?
I have no, bro, honestly, I have no clue. Like, I mean, I could throw a random guess out there, bro. I hadn't even never thought about that before. That's 6 years, that's 5 years. I don't know, bro. Maybe maximum I could see like 25% maximum, I think by then. And I think that's being super aggressive. Um because like because like bro, nobody older than us is going to get into crypto. Well, maybe some people, but for the most part, regular retail investors that are like older than us in their 40s or 50s, like they're just stuck in their ways, bro. Like realistically, I don't think those people are going to ever get into crypto. It just kind of is what it is.
I'm
So
gonna
it's
just
just
throw it out there. Just say I think probably about 30%, 35% by 2030. I'm gonna
yo,
say
we
about
got
that
we
much.
gotta we gotta have like a we gotta
Hey
start
man,
keeping like a ledger where
nah,
like
for real. What
we
we
put our
say with the
predictions.
predictions, yeah, for
For
sure.
real, nah, real talk. Because we
Got to go
gotta
back
we
and,
gotta
and,
have we
and
gotta write
adjust
the
that.
XRP one down. We gotta write this one down. Cause it's gonna be real. You feel me? Like only time will tell, bro.
I'm gonna go on a whim and I'm going to
This
say by
motherfucker say 60.
2030. No, I do you one better.
Yeah.
70%.
Mm, there you
70%.
go.
Be too much stuff is going on, man. Even outside of just economy stuff, the stuff that I read, stuff I research, everything else is going to propel United States forward, bro. And we are the trendsetters. So, with that being said, all they got to do is onboard the emerging markets from their beta to public, and then we're going to start seeing other companies follow suit because they don't want to be left
So
behind.
so let me roll back. Let me roll back. So I'm gonna roll back and I'm gonna say first world. I'm gonna say percentage of first world countries, because the thing is, what is going to quickly happen is the numbers are going to be skewed, because third world countries are going to quickly transition and adopt cryptocurrency, like
Right.
much all ages.
Right.
So I will say my numbers that I just gave you are like first world country. It's not. I'm thinking of America. You said global. I wasn't really thinking global when I said my numbers. And once Charles said that, I just started thinking global a little bit more, because like I've done some transactions using crypto like two different countries. Even already, I've already done that. And it's far easier and cheaper, even as is right now, than is like going through Western Union. And that's typically the way people are doing it right now. Right, like Western Union is like the go-to for doing transactions overseas in different countries. That's typically how people do it. And it's just a lot easier right now. Almost a lot of people our age, younger, have some sort of cryptocurrency wallet, bro. Even if they ain't got no money in there, they don't know what it is, they got a wallet. Like, so anyways, but first world countries, I think it would still be not going to be too aggressive, but I do agree that we will see a lot of third world countries. That percentage will ramp up insanely fast.
I'm sticking to my 70 globally, just overall, because the way it's positioned, because for the longest we've been ahead, so now they want the people who's been unbanked to go ahead to get banked. So we're going to fall back for a little while, give you time to catch up, and then we're going to enter the market. And when we enter the market, it's all fair. Like, it's all game. So I'm going to say that part. I'm going to end on that note on my end here, because I got to get the kiddos ready for school tomorrow. And we can do a part two, because this was definitely a healthy dialogue. Definitely feel like this is a part two for the next episode for sure. Plus the other topics that you want to talk on. But I'm sticking to my 70%. Like, I didn't research too much, and I'm okay with being wrong, but I'm rarely wrong, and I'm arrogant enough to say that. But I also am able to identify when I am wrong. So, if I'm wrong, I give you one of my yachts free of charge. You just got to manage it yourself.
Got a yacht.
Hey, who writing everything down, bro? Not even for the
It's recorded.
We gonna go back and we gonna figure it out. See when
we gonna put it on the blockchain.
Timestamp what we said.
We gonna put it on the blockchain.
We really gotta, because it's gonna keep being things that pop up. So I think it's just cool to have that stuff. You feel me? Kind of like reoccurring. Yeah. So now I do want to go back and see. We can kind of wrap. I'm just sidebarring right now because I know we about to wrap it up, or we already wrapped up. I don't know.
I'm gonna just say this, man. The more they put cryptocurrency, blockchain technology in the media, prices are gonna go up year over year. I watch Mark Douglas. He teaches trading psychology, and he teaches what moves prices is conviction and belief. So the more conviction and belief people have in these projects and these tokens, these coins, the prices are going to move. I mean, it's not to say when they're going to move, but they're definitely going to move based off of that belief. That's how all markets move anyway. So
for sure,
it is what it
is.
Yeah,
no, I mean, yeah, I agree with that too, bro. I think the conviction. I think the conviction for crypto is probably like peak right now. Like you have, like you say that, but like, bro, like you always have more conviction in an underdog. Like, I'm just saying, in something that you see value in that nobody else sees value, typically you have more conviction because you see something that somebody else does. If everybody sees this one thing and everybody knows it to be valuable, nobody's convicted behind it. You need some sort of divide or divisive or some sort of split
so
to have that real conviction.
Don't be a meme coin degenerate. Get into some utility tokens, have some conviction, and hold, baby.
For sure, 100%.
Yes, Lord.